P was giving him X amount of dollars to feature. Here's an apartment, here's a vehicle, but you gotta keep your lights on, you gotta keep your phone bill paid, which is understandable if I provided everything else. But how you pay for it, getting on projects, turning in verses to get paid so they can pay their bills. You know what I'm saying?
How much was the checks per verse?
I don't know, like $1,500. That's Boswell's first or second cousin, the brothers. The feds was already looking at the brothers. They already had an interest in them because they was the kingpins of Lacombe Parish.
So let's catch him up on that. Who is Dodo?
Dodo was one of the scariest that you probably won't ever want to run across on a bad day.
Let me tell y'all who this is right quick. This Dodo tough guy, you heard me?
Dodo already had relationships with Baby, and because he's solidified, he's stamped out here, right? And Birdman and them with him. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just the music. Certain people just wasn't comfortable with the idea. Sometimes conflict is more profitable. Whoa, what's happening? And it's OG Enoch, aka Tonto. I'm rocking with Video Wayne. Bucket Mike used to always throw shooting dice. They used to shoot dice by the canal all the time. One of the people that used to come shoot dice was Suave Bob. God rest the dead. Bucket Mike called me. He was like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing." He said, "Bitch, you over here. Come over here." Hop up, put on my shirt, put my chain on. Nigga. Pull up. Suave Bob pull up. The video, your boy. Tonto, huh? I'm like, yeah. He said, "Yeah, boy, you cold. Boy, I already know." Man, I know, homie. He was in the video with my people. Blah, 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 blah. He's solid. He get on the phone. Yeah, look, come over here right quick. 5 minutes later, Marcelo pull up. He pull up, he was like, "What's up?" And at the time, they had just got their deal with Priority.
You say they, you speaking of?
The deal, Tough Guys.
Dodo, now that you started and you with Master P.
We both out the Calio project. I decided to get off into the rap industry, the music business, and he just showed his support.
They had just got their deal through Pete with Priority. And Suave like, turn it down. I was like, "What's up?" He's like, "Man, this bitch dog." He's like, "Yeah, he rap." And his eyes immediately zoom in on my chain. So boom, throw the beat on, I run that bitch. Marcelo come back, he runs something. Suave like stand there and just look. I come back and I run something. Then I run something again. Marcelo went and then walked over and took my chain and he turned the face on me. He was like, "Nah, you tough guy." He said, "You can go ahead and take that chain off. You're gonna be tough guy." Left, went on Dursion Walk, Tory. That's like my big dog who's like put me on. I'm telling them what happened or whatever. Guess who pull up? And Dodo.
Man, who Dodo? Let me tell y'all who this is right quick. This Dodo tough guy, you heard me? What's up? So you know, representing Third World Calio, so it all going on like
no
this.
No limit, true.
Bro.
Keeping it true.
Say, bro, y'all better know we roll deep in that yo. Y'all better believe Master P. Messing with one of us, killers will be a million deep on your street.
Dodo pull up, and if you really know Dodo, you know him from the joint, like how these grew up together. Dodo name was Crow, so they'll call him Crow. Like, "What's up, Crow?" "What's up, man? What's yanning, bitch? What's up?" They talk, "Let's go get a dagger." They say, "Oh, your boy a dog, huh? Your boy a dog. You want with tough guy?" Like, "Yeah, you see, I'm coming to pick you up tomorrow. We're going over there and just chill it, bro. We're going to go see, bro. We're going to get a contract, have your people look at it or whatever, woody woo." I'm like, "All right, bet." Yeah, just got the Range Rover. He leave. That Saturday, I was upstairs signing the Tough Guy contract. Right after that, they were like, "We're going to go to tour." And it started turning up from there.
Here we go. It's for the OGs, the real dome, and the guys. Bringing it in for the 2000.
We were the ones that's gonna merge No Limit and Cash Money together. That's what we were supposed to do. We had a song, Marcelo.
Magnolia Cali too, right?
Right. Dodo and Marcelo was able to bring the Cali and Magnolia together, musically, right? And then as time progressed, we were already affiliated with No Limit because that's kind of like how the Priority deal came. Shouts out R.I.P. to Victor Newman, you know what I'm saying? He had a great deal and that happened. Dodo already had relationships with Baby, and because he's solidified, he's stamped out here, right? So he just started branching out like, come on, man, I'm with you in Burton, man, and them with him. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just the music shit. So we actually, remember the symphony? The old Juice Crew trip? We had a symphony. Marcelo, me, Juvie, Turk, man, it was supposed to be something beautiful. It was supposed to be a symphony. And it just never was able to manifest for whatever reason. And then Dodo get killed unexpectedly, right?
Well, that would.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, like I'm here to say, like, I don't.
That would have took over the world, but that's all we wanted from P and from No Cash Money No Limit.
And that's all. And Tough Guy was supposed to be the link.
Yeah.
That's who we
had to deal with priority. I didn't realize how major he was.
Man, listen, we were literally like, we did. Where you at, Woody? That's all No Limit artists except for us.
I'm in that 5, that O to the 4. You heard from the bricks, believe me, we live it. If they ain't made it yet, then bitch, they gotta build it.
Where You At, Woody was from Marcelo. They literally shut the city down for that video, if you remember. Everybody that morning, it started at 5 o'clock in the morning because we was the first in the Magnolia. They had Suave Bob, God rest his dead, with his black rover, Dodo with the white rover on the middle of the court. We did our video, our part of the video, and we left and went directly on the road for priority. While the video shoot was still going on. Because when they left us, that's why we wasn't in C Murder part when he was in the Calio, because we was gone already on the road.
What happened to the song, the symphony?
It just never was able to, you know, bro, you have to be careful in New Orleans, you know, because everybody will try to find, oh man, nah, but just to be honest, and this is my point of view, and I go, you know, like certain people just wasn't comfortable with the idea and the link. You know, sometimes, and this is my personal opinion, sometimes conflict is more profitable, even if it's an invisible conflict. That, oh man, he could never, you know what I'm saying? You know, type of shit. But for us, we looked at it as a movement. You know, that's what I'm saying. When I first initially, after all of the shit that we talked about, I always said that Doe was different from a lot of CEOs, especially in the new era of CEOs, because he was that never advocated for us to get in any more street shit if we came out of the street to get an opportunity.
You think it do it? Doe wouldn't have died, this song would have came out, the movie would have continued?
Man, it wouldn't even been the same.
It's to my enemies, only my family matters. Word to my slam, I can make it happen. Yeah, I ride dirty with the whip clean, and I've been doing this since I was 16. Again, this will be softer than whipped cream. Yeah, they sleep, they live in the big dream.
So let me tell you how real Doe is. Now, when I first signed with Dodo and them, like I said, when we went to the lawyer's office and we signed, after we signed, we all went out to eat. Everything was cool. Boom, we left. I mean, it was like, boy, them just sent Brick and them their first portion of money, and I think it was like $400,000 or something like that. I had signed. My girl was pregnant. I'm still hustling, and I remember Marcelo pulling up. He's like, what's up? I'm going by Hakeem. Hakeem was out the Ivoryville. We recorded my album by Hakeem. He said, we're going by Hakeem. You ready? And I'm like, I'm not ready. I had just scored. I'm like, I'm not ready. You're like, come on, man. Let's roll. I'm like, man, shorty gotta eat. You heard me? Hit him, looking at the package. You heard me? He looked, he was like, that's what's up. Pulled off. I could tell the way he pulled off. That Brick was mad, like on some shit. So he went back and told Dodo. So later on that next day, I'm out hustling. He come pull up. Dodo like, Tano. He used to call me Tano. You know what I'm saying? Tano, come get in the truck. I get in the back. And he like, you still want to be a tough guy, bro? You know? You not happy? You know you not happy here? I'm like, my girl like 5 months pregnant. Like, I'm not saying I don't want to be tough guys, but damn, son, I'm just like, you know, I'm just trying to figure out what to do next. I'm out here woo-de-woo-de-woo. He said, give me my briefcase. And I could hear the pop, 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 pop. He fold that up. He give me a yellow check. He said, that shit Toe gave you, make sure you give it back to him. I'm like, I got you, big bro. I didn't even look at the check. I came out the truck, I closed that, I looked at that motherfucker, that was like 20. I'm like, oh, bitch.
How much we get on the block every day, daily?
I wasn't getting that. He pull up in the Rover. Dodo and Marcelo, they pull up in the Rover, right? He was like, what you doing? I'm like, nothing. He said, come outside. I'm like, I'm already outside. He said, come around the corner. I'm still on the cool, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? I can't stop, you know? You can't give the shit back, you know what I'm saying? You know, he said something like, yeah, Toe, get that shit back to Toe and make sure. I'm like, you know, that ain't how the game works. So I got to get off it. I even put that in the verse, what I was going to do. Let this coke go bad, you know what I'm saying? You know, so that's the level I was on. I was like, let me just down the rest of this little 2 1/4, bitch. I'm out. I got my 20. I'm at a stone and quarter. You know, I'm slinging them. You hear me? So I got buku slabs in my mouth or whatever. So Boomy's like, get in. I'm like, all right. I could barely talk. You know what I'm saying? You dig? So Brick looking at me. He looking over the back seat. He said, huh? The bitch give me the box. The little black velvet boxes in plastic. I slide that inside the plastic. You know what I'm saying? I pop that open. It's a tough guy emblem. You heard me with the Cuban link chain. And it's just like separate. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm like, what? So I can't really say nothing. So I take the room, right? And you know those windbreaker ass pants? You know, the Nike ass pants? I put the rocks. I put the shit right here on my lap so I could talk to him. I'm telling him, boy, this fire. I put the chain on. He's like, all right, be ready to go to the studio later. I'm like, all right, cool. Boom, I get out the truck. I'm going about my business. Boop, 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 boop. Right? This about 2 months later. 2 months later, after this incident, 2 months later, we sitting in the studio, everybody having fun. And so I'm getting ready to record. Dodo getting ready to come in there, and Marcelo say, I must have said a drug verse or some shit, and that Marcelo said, you should be lucky Dodo ain't kill you. And I'm like, what is you talking about? You just out the blue. What is you talking about? He said, you know when you got the chain shit? I said, when a few months ago? He was like, yeah. He said, we riding down 2-lane. Soon as we get to 2-lane in Broad, they got 2 police cars, one behind each other. They sit next to each other. Dodo and that bitch, we listening to my album. Dodo, you know, he stayed with the little buck. You know, he got a name. You know his face. Dodo looking at Roval. He looking at the going, you know, because, you know, we got money. He looking at them, booting them up on some shit. He said, we in that jamming. He said, everything cool. He said, we go to the house and we go to get something out the back of the truck. And they got crack all over the floor of the back seat. Shit. They got crack all over the floor of the back seat. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And then it hit me. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, I got so excited behind that chain, them slippery ass pants, that crack claims clean off my pants in the backseat of this man's truck, and I was supposed to get his shit back to him, back to Toe. Out of all that time that passed, my heart would have beat instantly. I'm sober. It ain't fun in the studio no more. I don't give a can say what they want, bitch. I'm shook. Cause I'm like, damn, bitch, maybe this Doe waiting to knock my shit behind this. You know what I'm saying? You know, in my mind, that was a big up, homie. Doe is like a 7-time loser, capital murder. Doe trying to change his life. He done told me to get a man to crack back. I ain't do none of that. You hear me? Dodo come walk in the room. And I'm just eerily quiet. Tonto, what's wrong with you? I'm like, nothing. What's that? And Marcelo said, nah, he shook. He shook. I told that about that shit with that crack. He said, I told that shit about that, leaving that shit in the back of the truck. And that bitch don't look. I said, why you say something? He said, yeah, I was burnt with you. I was burnt. He said, we all next to the police booting him up. All the bitch had to do was hit them lights. You got $200 worth of crack on the back seat on the floor. He was like, bruh. I'm like, I said, why you ain't tell me nothing? He said, man, because you was excited with the chain shit. I already know woo-de-woo-de-woo. Ain't nothing happened, God good. Bro, I was like, wow.
Big dog, too. Yeah, that's a real
big dog.
Real.
And that just did something to me when it come to him. And I always for the rest of my life, I don't know what that did in this past, all the way and everything that he done, but for me, it was a blessing. Yeah, Tough Guys was a blessing. Dodo was a blessing. Marcelo was a blessing.
Dipping through New Orleans on a Cali. with 238 like I'm from Dallas. I'm separated from the street but still married. So if the shit pop off, I'm Dirty Harry. Tell my enemies only my family matters. Word to the slam, I can make it happen. Yeah, I ride dirty with the whip clean, and I've been doing this since I was 16. Be softer than whipped cream. Yeah, they sleep, they live in the big dream.
He always creates an avenue for himself. If you look at Marcelo's track record, they have done music with a lot of people. He's featured on a lot of albums. He's Fam Game, and he had a very huge part of Currency success. Him getting on Soulja Slim album, that was a Marcelo move. Him, to me, I think getting as chummy as he did with Vol, in how the relationship, how everybody, just the whole mechanics, you know, this was also a spin-off of the Magnolia and Calio working together. Marcelo just was a very instrumental tool when it came to a lot of things happening, but I just don't think that, you know, he just was able to capitalize on his shit for himself, you know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes people work better helping others than they do themselves. The stories that go around on Dodo, that, trust me, you know, Dodo have a vicious history.
So let's catch him up on that. Who is Dodo?
Dodo is one of the scariest that you probably won't ever want to run across on a bad day. But when he changed his life, he was one of the most generous that you've ever would have met in your life. You understand? Like he really took the opportunity of correcting his mistakes. And Dodo was, you know, Dodo was just one of them dudes, you know, and he took every opportunity to walk away from the streets instead of glorify it more when he got his money, is what I'm saying. Dodo got killed for leaving his neighborhood, bro.
For leaving his neighborhood?
That's how I look at it. I mean, people might not see it that way. That's how I see it, because as long as you would have stayed within the grounds and the bounds of where you're from, you know you're not the most innocent in the world. I love my to death, but everybody knows Dodo hands wasn't the cleanest. Stay where you're protected. This is during the debacle of Beats by the Pound. So now you're getting all of these different producers. So he signed Donald XL. That's when he did Mac album. He did a lot of shit for No Limit. He really supplemented a lot of music for when Beats by the Pound, you know, didn't, you know, when that shit fell through. He was living in MetLife apartment, hotel or whatever, and P sent him over to Edgewood Apartments. If you know anything about No Limit, I don't give a, it's the truth though. P was giving him X amount of dollars to feature, and it was almost like a war to rumbles. That's why all the No Limit albums sounded like compilations, because he might have gave you the ability. Here's an apartment, here's a vehicle, here's whatever the case, but you got to keep your lights on, you got to keep your phone bill paid, you got to, these shit you got to do for yourself, which is understandable if I provided everything else for you. But how you pay for it is being assertive with getting on projects. So if I pay you X amount of dollars to get on a project, so that's when you used to get No Limit albums, you're like, God, featuring. That's where they come from. I'm gonna just tell you what it is. You feel me?
Like turning in verses.
Turning in verses to get paid so they can pay their bills. You know what I'm saying?
How much was the checks per verse?
I don't know, like $1,500. Some shit like that, $1,500 a verse or some shit like that. I don't know, something like that ball figure, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'm not signing No Limit or anything, but you're just being in the element, and like I said, being around these producers. But me living with Dig for that time being, I lived with him when P sent Don XL over there to live with Dig. It was like vampires on fresh blood, because everybody's trying to get beats, everybody's trying to get features, everybody's working on albums. And when I mean to tell you, everybody came, because that was cold. C was coming, Mac was coming, Magic was coming. Dig House turned into a mother. It turned into one of those spots to the point we got kicked out that bitch.
Behind the beats.
Behind bringing XL there and everybody trying to get music, trying to get
the beats,
and C pulling up in that bitch in the purple Navigator, boom, 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 boom. The white folks wasn't trying to hear that shit. They ain't trying to hear that. And this story is, you know, look, my interview, is probably gonna be 1,000 posts because I got stories with C that you would be like unbelievable. And I'll free my, and anybody who know me know I don't lie and they know it's the truth. At this time, I'm with a label called Deep South. They come from out of Lacombe, Slidell. There are two brothers, Dwight and Chris. They start a record label and they have an artist named Boss Player. He wound up hearing me in the studio. He's like, I want to get you on the record. We did a song called Bling On. Not knowing that these got money. These chains pieces was bigger than pea shit. They had this alligator with a cigar with a ruby on it. And the alligator stuck out this much. The medallion piece was this big. And so I'm just like, Lord. So I did the verse or whatever. One of the brothers came. He was like, man, you cold. He said, come outside. I come outside. Just throw me a pound of weed. And I'm like, I'm with this. I'm with y'all. He was like, man, I want you to be down with the label, man. I don't do the paperwork shit. Then they say, we're gonna shoot a video for that song you did too.
Now whisper straight big one with that Deep South music group blinging on for sure. With my boy Boss Player and Tonto, you gotta love that Deep South putting it down for the 2G, you heard me?
Video time come up, it's at Whispers. The Whispers that had closed down. They had reopened the Whispers. They had the catering food out there. They had the dancing girls sending the choreography shit and the blends and the money and the cars and the Benz. This was a no limit video.
Boss Player up in here with Tonto. For sure, man. Putting it down for Deep South one more time. Deep South, man.
We do the video. Come to find out, Anthony Boswell and Suave Bob, God rest the dead, was directing the video.
That's a wrap.
Lo and behold, that's Boswell's first or second cousin, the brothers. They buy a club. They buy a building. It was a brown building. It looked like an old Western building. The white said, I think I'm gonna make this bitch a club. Weeks go by. Boom. We having a grand opening. Ah, we celebrating in that bitch. Everybody gonna have, it's like, boy, we about to blow up in this bitch. Everybody, what you wanna do? Like, man, look, we working on your album next toe. Who you want on that? I want Magic. I know Magic. That's my. I want QB. Shouts out to QB. I'm just naming a bunch of No Limit artists that I know. Mac was one of them. About a month go by. Who have a show there? Mac. Because the club is called Club Mercedes. That they own. And the situation happened with Mac at Club Mercedes. And when the people run out, the gunshot go off, Mac pulls his gun just off a reflex and runs to the front of the club like everybody else. The little dude who got shot in the arm, he got shot in the arm. The bullet traveled because he ran. Go look it up. Like, nigga, this is facts. He ran. He collapsed. It looked bad. When the police came, they said, who was here tonight performing? The only picture that they could point at was in T-Bone's record store that had Mac World War III poster. That was him. And that's how that shit happened. Mac did not shoot that boy. I was there. But what people don't know is that immediately after that happened, the feds was already looking at the brothers. So the first thing they wanted to know who the liquor license was for. They had the liquor license in one of the dude's old lady's name. They found out, as a matter of fact, they made it on the news. One of the brothers had a Suburban, if you go look it up.
What would they have to do with it?
That was their club. And the feds was already looking at them.
So they already had an interest in them.
They already had an interest in them because they was the kingpins of Lacombe Parish. So they just it was building a case because when the police got on the news about it, they said it was an 18-month investigation on them already. The Club Mercedes thing was just the fucking icing on the cake. You feel me? So when they couldn't find out who the liquor license was for, all of that shit came tumbling down. They took them boys to jail. You know what I'm saying? It all came tumbling down. All went to jail and all that shit happened. And I watched it debacle.